बीती रात हुई फिल्म पोचर की स्क्रीनिंग, जिसमें नजर आए कई सारे सितारे जैसे कि कार्तिक आर्यन, रिचा, अली फैजल, रसिका दुग्गल।
So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. So fun story, which I've never said before. Richie and I met back in 2022. I was full-blown pregnant, just about to pop. Yeah, very close to popping. We spoke about everything under the sun. We spoke about parenting. We spoke about just cinema, movies, art. And in that meeting, he took me through the world of Poacher. I mean, firstly, I was flabbergasted that it was all based on true events. And then we kept talking. You know, he was gracious enough to share the first 2 episodes. I then watched the whole show. But I have to say, forget executive producer, I just responded as a person. Yeah. When I saw the show, I couldn't stop watching it. Like, it's a binge and how. You can't take your eyes off the screen. You can't take yourself away from these characters. Nimisha is not here today, but I mean, she's outstanding. Roshan, who I've had the honor of working with, is unbelievable. And Dibyendu sir, and not just the 3 of them, the whole cast. They really hold, they hold your attention to the screen. And of course, Richie has told this story so beautifully. It just really moved me. It moved me emotionally. It moved me physically towards him, saying, tell me what I can do and how can I help. And at Eternal being me and my partner / sister Shaheen Bhatt and our business head Grishma, we are a tiny team of 3. But we really believe that we would like to be a part of stories that move you and impact you and stir some sort of conversation long after you've seen what you've seen. So whether it's a conversation with yourself, whether it's a conversation with another person. Like, I remember sitting Richie down and asking him multiple questions. I think we went through a whole interrogation with you, right? Right after we watched it. You just want to know more, and I'm not going to say too much because I think this is just the beginning of the journey. And I say that because I genuinely believe it's just the beginning. So without further ado, I think let's bring the world of Poacher to the people. And I have to say this, I can write it down right now that your minds are going to be blown. So please, let's go ahead. Actually, this is a first for me because this is the first time I'm not in the trailer.
Exactly.
But it's still, there is still butterflies and elephants and tigers and monkeys all around us, inside us, because I think when you're creatively connected and you want something to do really well, there is anticipation and there's nerves. And I have to say, it feels very relaxing to not be in the trailer, but it's still very exciting because look at the trailer. It's so exciting. I can't wait for people to see more and, see the show on the 23rd of Feb, and then we'll talk more.
So it was a slow burn for me and a slow realization. And as I gather all of that information, I literally just take the moments that I responded so viscerally to as a human being, and I channel that into the series, basically. So obviously I've curated what to do and what to use and what not to use. This is a fictionalized dramatization of true events. It's inspired by the biggest elephant poaching case in Indian history. Many characters are amalgamations and some of them are direct. I will say generally I will do character extrapolations in backgrounds of characters, personal stories, which are based on educated guesses. And I try not to veer away from the criminal aspect because there's a lot of strange things in Poacher you'll see. As the episodes go, they get faster paced and the scenes get crazier. And I cannot make some of those premises up. They're just too strange, you'll see.
Yeah,
no, I'll leave the leeches for later. But the person who my character is based on is somebody who works at the Wildlife Trust of India, still. He's one of the most interesting people that I've met in life, period. He's also somebody who's a treasure trove as far as an actor who is looking to portray him as a character in a piece or in a project is concerned. There is so much there that after my first conversation with him, where we luckily immediately found a connect. He's also from the same part of Kerala, roughly where I come from, so the language that we speak, the dialect is very similar, except this area of expertise of his, wildlife crime or wildlife conservation, is something that I obviously do not have that much knowledge about as much as he does. And he has a great understanding of the socio-political scenario in Kerala as well. He's very rooted. He works in Delhi, but he knows everything that's going on everywhere. So after my first interaction with him, which was a long phone call, I called Richie up and I asked Richie I said, I feel like we should have a personal approach to this, try and understand the man from inside rather than try and portray him from outside. And Richie said, yeah, that's exactly how I want you to go about it. And that was what I tried to do. I tried to understand the man. I tried to understand the reasons he had for doing the things that he does. I tried to understand where he gets this passion from and where he finds his satisfaction from. Because it's not like these guys are celebrated or glorified. There's no glory that comes to them. There's no reward that comes to them. In this particular incident that we're representing,
My vision? The vision is there. It's in front of us. I would say my feelings, my emotions, my excitement for the world to see it. The vision, actually, I would say collectively for the team, and a moment for Amazon here, just because they are such a fabulous platform. They give that reach to a show like Poacher. From the very beginning, the first time we all got onto a marketing call, the feeling was, just go genuine, just go real. The show will do its talking. ऐसे marketing करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है ऐसे. Just let the content do the talking, and it's doing it. I think you just call me, like I can be this green mascot for you all right now, to just say this louder and louder, but Poacher is out in the world on the 23rd of Feb, and the vision is out there for the world to see. How do I feel supporting? I think the same way you feel right now asking me this question, the way it impacted you, or the people of Kerala, because of, you all were in the thick of it. Everybody was aware at that time. When I watched it, I was perhaps not aware, but it still deeply impacted me. And I don't think I say this, I'm not saying this just because I'm here sitting on the stage, but it really, really leaves an impact. And you really think about it. And I was in tears, and I was smiling, and I was entertained, and I was scared, and I was thrilled, and I was, all the things put together. But supporting a story like this, I think for us as an audience is really important. But I think I really want to thank Rishi for bringing us this story and for putting this together. Just the way you caught on to that one moment when it was sent to you while you were doing something else for Google, and this came to you, and you said, okay, no, this is something that I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell this story. I think there's a lot of genuineness in it. There's a lot of heart in it. And that really comes across when you see the show. It's really hard to say genuinely, and I'm not just being like cute with my answer, because there is so much. For starters, the performances, which I spoke a little bit about, but Nimisha, Roshan and Divyendu sir are just fantastic. I mean, forever fans. I'm forever a fan of all of them, because what they brought to their characters, it's about the overarching, of course, crime that is going through the show, and that's that's just taking you through all the 8 episodes, but you're also going deeper into their life, which is so enriching, so interesting, so emotional. There are beautiful moments that each of the characters have, which I can right now think, I'm not going to say it because it'll be giving too many moments away. Like, there's this one scene, I won't say too much, okay? But there's this one scene that Roshan has, can I say with his son? Okay, yeah, with his son, which is beautiful. And when you watch it, you'll know what I mean. There's this one shot that Nimisha gives at the end, which I was like really shaking. And there's this one scene that Divyendu sir has with his, can I say niece? Yeah, with his niece, which is again so beautiful. Now these are one scenes, but I'm just bringing it up because I know for a fact, like when my sister and I exchanged notes, those were the scenes that really, propped us out to us. The way you see in the end of the trailer, for example, how you saw each and every animal, that's something when every time I see the trailer, I get goosebumps. Every time you see an animal in the show, that is, by the way, purely visual effects, you're so enamored. The perspective with which Richie has told this story, the narrative, you really feel like the other in the story. And just the beats, just the drama, just the everything. So yeah, just not one thing, there are too many things. Now I'm going to stop talking. Just watch the show.
Thank you so much for the question. I think I am a chameleon. I want to be a chameleon all the time. I don't want to play myself. I never want to do that in my life. So, and yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, people are appreciating a few of my works, and I am really gladful. I'm really gladful that I have that connection with the audience, and people are liking it. I'm really grateful towards it. And this film is a very special series for me, actually. I must tell you, because there are a lot of things that I sometimes I want to do in life, but I cannot, because I want to be a conservationist, but I am not an activist. I cannot do it on the ground, but it's a nice profession I am in, that I can be in disguise and I can do this, and for a good cause, and at the same time it's an entertaining series, and the beauty of these characters are actually it's based on a real life character, but you don't have that baggage also for the real life character to play that baggage, because it is not that I am imitating that character or I'm trying to be that character. No caricature is there. It is completely soul oriented, because now in Richie's film and in this series, that real life character is also changed a lot, because there are a lot of inputs, there are a lot of other things have come up. So it is a different human being. So it is why, so just to understand that what would be that socio-political, economical background of that persons, and just be into his shoes. That's it. That is my job, and वो बहुत अच्छी तरीके से रिची के साथ होता है, because it's a well-researched script. It's a fantastic collaborative process, and we are always ready with the rehearsals also. Like we used to do a lot of rehearsals, and so nothing like easily achieve नहीं कर पाए बहुत कुछ चीज़ें, बहुत hard work करने के बाद achieve किया, but at the end of the day you feel good about it, that when you achieve something such good.
This was one of the easiest yeses that I have said. It checked all the boxes, except the scenario wasn't that straightforward for me, because this wasn't a project that was offered to me for me to pick whether I wanted to say yes or no to. This was a project that I was approached to audition for. So the moment when I was, to quickly go through how it happened, the moment I was approached for the audition, I was instantly excited because of Richie. That's all I knew at that point, that Richie Mehta is doing a show and I've been offered an audition, a chance to audition for it. And I knew him as a maker, and I was supremely excited by his work, and I really, really wanted to collaborate. So the audition happened. Luckily, I got the part. Then I get the script to read, right? And he's one of the best writers whose works I've read, who I've gotten to collaborate with. It was such an exciting script. It's so strange because it's all based on true events, and you can't write fiction that way. Richie said this multiple times. It doesn't follow a formula. It doesn't have a set structure that we're familiar with. These guys have nothing to go with in their investigation, nothing to assist them, no systems in place, no guns to pull out. It's all jugaad. So it seemed like such a fun script to play. The character the real life person who my character is based on, the character, the way it's written, he's a computer programmer. He works in the Wildlife Trust of India. He's deeply interested in snakes. He's making an app on snakes. He's a family man. He's a man who leads multiple lives, keeps a lot of secrets, does a lot of dangerous things, puts his life on the line for nothing in return. None of these things I do. So it was so exciting to attempt to be that person. So yeah, it was something that checked all the boxes. Yeah, Nimisha has been such a fabulous performer in Malayalam since the first film that she did there, and she's been an actor who I'd been waiting to work with. Uruthek and Talliges, the project you mentioned, was the first time I got to work with her, which also happens to be the set on which I received the script for Poacher and read it. And I found out that Nimisha was also going to be part of the show. And this was a period where Nimisha and I did 3 projects together in a row. And it was the most magical journey that I've had with any co-actor. Firstly, this was the first series I did. This was the first time I traveled with a cast and a particular character with a crew for this long a period of time. And then there was all the work that Nimisha and I had done before that. So it was great to have that chemistry when the project began, because once you watch the show, you'll know these guys are already friends from before the story begins in Poacher. So it was nice to be able to bring that on set, pre-set, and it was already in place, at least that part of it. That's a sense of comfort, that an actor can really use, especially on the first few days of shoot. She's also an incredibly exciting co-actor to work with, because Ali and I were discussing this earlier. She's unpredictable. So you can't go in with a set plan on how you want to play a scene out, because Nimisha will break that for you. So you have to be there, be very much in the moment and react to what's happening or what she's throwing at you. And she's great to, play tennis with. While we're doing a scene, acting tennis, yeah. Then I think overall, like Nimisha, Dibyendu, the rest of the cast, the crew that I got to work with on Poacher, Johanna, cinematographer, Richie, these are all people who I had a great time with, but that's very personal. But professionally speaking, these are all people who inspired me on a daily basis, which is also one of the reasons why the show and the period of time we spend shooting for it stays memorable, because 4 months is a long time if you're not happy on a set. So I like that's something I'm very grateful for. About Alia being here, I am happy, I am honored, and I am supremely grateful for that, because the last time I was on a stage that was this big, in front of a crowd that was this big, was for a project that gave birth to Eternal Sunshine Productions, and that was a song launch, and at that point Alia was my co-actor. And it was also one of, I think, the most memorable, biggest projects in my career so far, something I was very fortunate to be part of. And through that journey, I always knew Alia as an artist through the work that she's done, and I have a great deal of respect for her and the work that she chooses to do and how she does it. But also as a person, from the little that I know of her, she's somebody who's very driven by passion, driven by emotion. You must have noticed how earlier when she got a question about her vision with the project, her answer was very rooted in emotion. So for somebody who works with that focus, somebody who's driven by what the heart wants, I'm very, very glad that Alia is associated with this project, and how graciously she's been sort of tilting the spotlight towards the show and the rest of us. We're extremely thankful for that, Alia. And I also, the optimist in me wants to continue believing that when you do something with a lot of heart and with the right intent and with empathy and do it sensitively, good things happen. Like Amazon Prime getting on board and Alia associating with the project and all of you turning up here today. So thank you to all of you.